The Works Progress Administration, abbreviated WPA, is known to be the largest and most ambitious New Deal agency under Franklin D. Roosevelt. Its goal? To employ unskilled workers for public works such as pools, parks, and tennis courts. It was given an annual budget of $1.4 billion from the government and spent a total of $13.4 billion by the time it was shut down. It was headed by Harry Hawkins, one of Roosevelt's advisors during America's Great Depression. Founded in 1935 and terminated in 1943, the WPA ambitiously sought out to provide jobs for the unemployed and aid the government. However, there's a question that surfaces. What are the problems with this agency? Allow me to shed some light on the subject. You see, the WPA hires a bunch of unskilled laborers that are unemployed to work on public works, the same ones that private businesses exist to create as well. When private businesses lose these jobs to WPA workers, they lose the jobs they had to learn and acquire as a profession to those who may have no experience in this field whatsoever. Some of the people that got jobs never even tried looking for a job, but once given the handout, they take the jobs and take them away from those who worked and earned the same jobs. Not quite fair, is it? And how about women? At least they get it fair now, right? For once? No. Only 13.5% of the employed at the time were women. Couldn't they at least make it even? Some may argue that's because the man would work and bring home the money because he's the breadwinner, but only 18% of those women were married and living with their husbands. Many of the rest are single or divorced and gotta make a living. So wouldn't the rest need to go and work? Still, they weren't offered as many jobs as men. I know what you're thinking, at least some people have jobs, right? Well, what if I told you it just doomed everyone's futures? Working for the WPA developed extremely poor work habits, and as stated by a Senate committee, poor work habits and incorrect techniques are not remedied. The WPA was lazy enough to not train its workers and doom them from the start. Things were just handed out and no one had to earn them. They even managed to get the names We Piddle Around, We Poke Along, and Working Pissants. Other than that, the WPA is great though, right? Still no. They say the average paid worker earns about $42. That's because some people are getting paid $50, others getting paid about $30. However, it's not due to how tedious the job may be or how often they work. These wages were split between the North and the South, and simply for that reason only. The WPA also damaged efficiency, something that a modernized country should be improving. The workers were given only hand tools to carry out these projects, rather than at least a few machines to make things easier. But aside from that, it was perfect, right? Still wrong. Now let's attend the subject of corruption. Meet Frank Hague. He's one of the WPA's leaders in New Jersey, and he's notorious for his corruption. He was a machine boss. He held control over the workers for leverage to keep a job. On top of that, 3% of their wages were to be given directly to him. Pennsylvania had issues concerning political registration. In Plymouth, a man was given a desk job before elections took place. However, his employers asked that he change his registration from Republican to Democratic. He refused and found himself working a pickaxe job in a flash, along with other people that experienced the same thing. Workers in Montgomery County were even fired if they refused to change their registration, violating their right to choose. 450 men that followed the change in registration and voted for the requested Horny Courtney Lucas ticket were fired as soon as the election was over. In Chicago, Edward J. Kelly instructed his workers on who to vote for, Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was the same story in Kentucky. This leads to Congress having to pass the Hatch Act, banning any workers, including WPA workers, from being active in political campaigns. This paints a picture of an agency that serves only to get Roosevelt reelected. There are things that people do not look into enough to see the problems with agencies such as the WPA. However, now that I've summed it up for you all, maybe now you'll understand. If you need a more entertaining way to understand it though, I've taken the time to insert some interview clips from Period 4 News, with their permission, concerning the same issues. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi, we're outside of Harry Hawkins' office with Harry. Harry, do you believe that women are equal?
What kind of question is that?
But what about that woman over there? Isn't she working hard?
She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
So what did these comments make you want to do? think your bosses have sympathy for you?
But they don't know about the stress-filled day. Baby on the way, mad bills to pay.
Do you think that your bosses know that only 13.5% of your workers are women?
They know, they know, they know.
I'm with the private business worker. So, I do understand that your company was not hired by the WPA to build some of their constructions.
No, they hired a bunch of hillbillies instead.
They took his job. Man, they took his job. They took it down.
So we're here with one of the bosses of the WPA, and we have some questions for him. In Pennsylvania, a man was supplied a job that paid him $60 a month. However, he was told to change his registration from Republican to Democratic. How do you respond to this?
It's true.
I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you asked for it.
How do you feel about taking away from private businesses?
You in the blink, you gon' bite the dust, can't fight with us. With your sound, you kill the ink, so don't stop, get it, until you chin it.
Do you hear about segregation in the workplace? The white northern workers received $50 a month while the blacks in the south received $23 a month, and then they were receiving jobs less appealing.
Well, the only thing I can say is,
So what, we get drunk. So what, we don't sleep. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees.
Are you aware that former WPA workers have a hard time getting a job outside of the WPA because of poor work habits formed during their time in the WPA?
You know what it is.
Some workers lack rights such as Social Security. How do you respond to this?
To the left, to the left.
they got no rights.
So, in Pennsylvania, the workers who supplied the trucks to the WPA were solicited for $100 each in Carbon County and in Lucerne County. What was the meaning of this?
I need my money pronto. Get it in the morning like Alonzo.
So, Mr. Kelly, our sources have revealed that you instructed your workers who to vote for, and you so happen to be an advocate for Roosevelt. Now, would you say that the WPA can serve the purpose of getting Roosevelt reelected? Why can't you answer straight?
That truth hurts and those lies here.
So we are here with Frank Haig, the WPA boss of New Jersey, and Mr. Kelly, a WPA boss in Chicago. So, Mr. Haig, in New Jersey, you forced your WPA workers to give 3% of their wages to you for your political machines. So that doesn't seem right. How do you feel about it?
You think me rude, but I would just stand and stare.
Is it true that you supply your workers with hand tools such as hammers and shovels instead of machinery?
Seems like I'm helping them.
So how does it feel to be renamed the Whistle, Piss, and Argue Gang, the Working Piss Ants, or We Piddle Around instead of the WPA?
Well, I think they're...
So sir, do you know that you make twice the amount of an African American worker?
I get what you get in 10 years, in 2 days.
Sir, what do you wish to achieve by working for the WPA?
I hope it makes me a better man, take a better stand, put money in my mom's hand, get my daughter this college plan, so she don't need no man.
Hey, let's put on some tunes.
Let's play a song. This is a favorite.
How'd you know? I love this song!